from centuries of slumber, blood-starved and weakened, in a world that's forgotten your name. Re-rising isn't just a fight for survival, it's a rebirth into a dark, gothic heart of a vampire legend. Here, every drop of blood spilled is towards reclaiming your throne, but the path is merciless. In your castle, a fortress of nightmares and elegance rises brick by brick, fueled by your cunning ambition. As you take shelter from the sun and hunt beasts by moonrise. Welcome to the world of Re-Rising. This video is going to be all about the world, the lore, and my journey into the world of Vardoran. And I want you to come along and experience this adventure with me in this wonderfully gothic world. So if you like vampires, castles, and stories, grab a bucket of popcorn and come along for the ride. This is your boy Fate, and this is Re-Rising.
The night. But man rose up against us. We were overthrown. For centuries, hidden away in darkness. Tortured by thirst. Choking down dust.
I absolutely love this song.
Starving. Until now, our hunt begins again.
So, Re-Rising opens up with a very simple yet elegant character creation, with a very simple few options of one body type for each male and female character. You do get to play around with your choice of faces. You can make it look scary or pretty, whichever type of vampire you prefer. And well, quite a nice roster of hairstyles from the Castlevania franchise as well. Of course, that doesn't really matter much when you're always going to be picking Alucards, with the option to select a few accessories, and of course, the tone of your pale skin. And finally, picking out your sweet name that you're going to be conquering this world with. We are off into the world of Re-Rising. And in the most dramatic way possible, we are awake. Back into the world of Vardoran. So we have apparently woken up in a crypt, and the first thing we need to do is figure out where we are and how to get the heck out of here. We make our way down this hallway and trying to get back our senses, trying to just get a feel for what the world is like. It can't have been easy being locked up for so long, but now all that's gone and we are finally awake and out in this world. Just on my way out of the crypt, I was greeted by some skelly boys, and with a few swipes of my hand, we took care of that. While taking their bones for our own, I don't know, a little creepy, but maybe we can use them to make something. We robbed our first grave and grabbed ourselves a rat. A couple of sentences I never thought I'd imagine saying. But with that, we were off and into exploring the graveyard and trying a way out. With a few more Skelly boys dead and some new knowledge acquired, the system was telling us to craft some new weapons utilizing their bones. And with that crafted sword, we moved on. Now much easily cutting our way through the hordes of Skelly boys ahead. And with our health a little low, we figured out how to use some of our old vampiric powers, healing ourselves from the blood that we had stored up in our system. And I found myself a new enemy along the way, a different type of monster. It wasn't a Skelly boy, it was more tanky but less powerful. But with our new forged weapons, they stood no chance. And while beating these Skelly boys, we had remembered some of our old long lost skills. The ability to shoot long range blood arrows and the ability to dash like a boss. And with all of that completed, we were finally on our way out of this cursed cemetery into the land of the Vardoran woods. And with a few very cool leaps, we were on our way down and into the Vardoran woods to hunt down our next enemies, where we encountered a wolf that was chasing a deer, and we were able to acquire the first thing that a bloodthirsty vampire needs after years of hunger: blood. And of course, harvesting their fur for future needs and clothing, because we can't let anything go to waste. We had to go ahead and bash a few stones and murder a few trees, but we were on our way into developing our first castle. So while we had all the materials, we went ahead and had a little crafting sessions for new clothing. And of course, new weapons. We acquired some new knowledge on how to craft some rat stew, and we did just that to heal us in case we were down and just in case we got an appetite. With some more unsanctioned violence against some shrubbery, we were well on our way into developing our first castle. Now armed with the ability to set up my own castle, we had to figure out where to do it, just to find that one perfect spot. Because remember, location, location, location. And after a considerable and embarrassing amount of time, I finally came up with a perfect spot. Now all just remained was to figure out a way to get there, and how not to die along the way. Remember, we might be a vampire, but we've been weakened by centuries of exhaustion and lack of blood. I carefully made my way down to the castle, avoiding every danger along the way. Yeah. Nope. All of this area is a nope zone, so nope, 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 nope. We made our way through the jungle, and through various areas, we finally ran into our first pair of humans. And despite my urge to drink their blood, I ended up killing them. And while collecting loot, I accidentally ran across something that felt off. It was a mob with a crossed out name, but he had a title. This might have been a late game boss. Gorswine the Ravager. While carefully avoiding him, I continued to make my way down to our carefully picked spot, while making my best efforts to avoid any humans that were way too powerful for me to deal with. And with quite a bit of maneuvering and running away, we were finally able to get to our site. Now just off to a little bit of exploration of the area and just clearing out some trees, shrubbery, and just making sure we are safe in the place, while nearly avoiding a grotesque monster. The next job was to clear out some trees, some old ruins, and just to make place for our new base and our home castle. And after much deliberation and final placement of our castle heart, we were finally off to feeding it some blood just to get the ball rolling. We put in a little bit of our collected blood essence and we were off to reclaim the area. First by expanding the floors and then slowly adding up the walls just to make the area completely secure. We cleared out a little more of the area and placed some more walls and finally placed a gate to our castle to make it completely accessible for us. And as we finally finished up completely gating our castle, I took a moment just to enjoy the view and just to think about the steps ahead. The first one being protection from the sunlight. So we went around and placed some mist braziers. These little things grind some bones, burn them, so they create a cloud cover so we can move around in our base even during the daytime without the fear of being burned to a crisp by the ever-powerful sun. And now while we were finally protected from the sun, I had to go around and, as a vampire, place my wooden coffin, a place for me to rest and recover from all the battles that lay ahead. And with our base mostly set up and secure, the last part was to lay down some chests, just some place to store all of that important gear and materials that we would be looting. I looked around my inventory and checked if he had unlocked anything new, and luckily we were able to place some sawmills to process all of that wood we had been collecting. So went ahead and placed two so we could divide it and speed up the whole process, just like a proper processing plant. Remember, our castle is steadily growing and we need to do our best to be efficient. I checked around and this giant rat producing organism was also available, but I didn't really have a use for it at the time, so we didn't place one down. And with most of our base done, I got ahead and placed most of my loot into the chest so we could go ahead and out exploring. Before finally setting out on another adventure, I checked my inventory just to make sure I didn't miss something, and I found we could craft a workbench. So we did that and got ourselves some upgraded gear. We of course had to check ourselves out in our snazzy new upgraded gear and our new weapons, and we were just going ahead and appreciating all of that before getting ready. When I noticed that a key part of our build was missing, that was the bone ring, so we went ahead and crafted that. And with our gear set now fully complete, we were ready to take on the world of Vardoran. I had noticed we unlocked a new ability, the ability to track Weebloods. The first one on that list was a white wolf named Alpha. The trail of the scent bears the unmistakable signature of Dracula, the immortal king. When Dracula fell, he cursed the world of Vardoran with blood rain, a scourge in which many perished. Some who survived became unknowingly twisted by the downpour, their bloodlines forever empowered by his malice. This mighty predator is infused with that legacy. And now we officially had our first target and our first little piece of this world's lore. How everything had changed over the years that we had laid in prison. We went ahead and began tracking Alpha, the white wolf, and his scent led us directly to him. Vapors of blood in the air leading us to this way. While nearly avoiding the own monster in our backyard, we made our way out and away from the sunlight. While we were tracking Alpha, the moon had risen as we got closer and closer, making our hunt way more favorable. We finally ran into Alpha in his den, surrounded by a pack of wolves. Figuring out the best way to beat him would be to slowly take care of his pack members. So we went ahead and took care of the little wolfy boys while we awaited our final encounter with the big bad wolf. Collected their hides and their bones, and we were on to face the monster himself. In the time that I had taken to take care of the other wolves, Alpha had stepped away, but we were slowly on his heels. And finally, the confrontation began. The initial fight seemed easy enough, but Alpha had a few surprises up his sleeve. Though he wasn't giving me too much trouble, he was finally starting to hurt me. And being the dodgy bad boy as he is, and the alpha of his pack, he summoned his wolf buddies to take it down. His wolfy boys and went back on to focus our main big bad alpha. But his lunge attacks threw me for a loop. Let's just get that last orb. Okay, yeah. I need to be using that since it deals more damage to these guys. And with our spear out, I was able to take care of these little wolfy boys much more. Come on, good boy. Get some. That's a good boy. And with a little more griefing, we had taken down our first big bad. And we had gone ahead and unlocked a new ability. The ability to shapeshift into the form of a wolf. This new form allowed us to jump through walls and to allow us to move a lot faster, making our traversal so much more easier. With our first official boss taken down, we were on our head for the next one. But before that, thanks to our new wolf form, we made a much quicker journey back to our base just to extract some materials and get ourselves ready for the next fight. Next on our list was Keely the Frost Archer. A cold-hearted bandit lieutenant, she oversees the animal husbandry and leather tanning camp in Farbane. Once a member of the Donnelly militia, she was removed from her position for her brutal battlefield decision-making. Aside from being a crack shot, her enhanced arrows race down icy death. And with our V-blood tracking, we were hot on her tail, closing in slowly, dodging monsters along the way. We slowly made our way to the bandit trapper camp, where we defeated some front sentry weak guards just one by one before we finally took on Keely the Frost Archer. A little bit of dodging, a little flashy moves, and now since we were much stronger, these little humans were not much of a challenge. Picking them off one by one as we moved ahead. I managed to grab myself a human with much higher quality blood, and I was hoping it would give me some extra bonuses, which it most definitely did, allowing me much greater help in taking down Keely. We whipped out our vampiric powers and restored some health before finally going in to take her on. We cleared off some more weak scrubs and got ready for the big bad, finally spotting her in the base. I tried to get a few good jabs in with my spear, just try to maintain that distance and try to cheese her, but unfortunately for me, a few of her lackeys found me, and now I had to deal with this big bad along with these annoying little pests. I easily took care of the wolf, and while I was trying to take down the other guys, some of the misshot arrows actually damaged the wolf's containers, and a few of the wolves got out. Come on, you're supposed to focus her, not me. Nope, that was mistimed. I'm gonna take a bit to reply because I can't read chat right now. This is a little slightly intense. See if I can cheese her through that. Oh, I can. Okay. This is just unfair. And with a new secret cheesing strategy, I was on my way to feeding the Frost Archer. Unfortunately, a little much easier than she had expected, utilizing our secret weapon, the well. wait on that. During the fight, another one for stray arrows freed a bear, and that provided me with just enough distraction to take care of her. And we got her. And with that, we had taken our second step into dominating this world. We took care of an annoying little pest, and we were on our way to expanding our domain. And with our Wolfie Boy transformation, we were quickly on our way back to base. Went ahead, checked our new unlocks, and we had apparently unlocked the ability to make leather via a tannery. So the next logical step was to go ahead and get that fully set up. I had also unlocked a new spell point, something in the Ice Mastery. So we went ahead and unlocked the Frost Magic, the spell called Ice Nova. Finally, something new, something a little different from our based blood magic. And with our new spell points in and our collected materials, we went ahead and placed down a tannery, putting in all of our hides that we had gotten up till this point to convert them into leather. With our tannery set up, all we could do was wait while we produced leather. One eternity later, we went ahead, checked our workbench to see if we could craft any new material, checked our chest for any old materials that we could utilize, and we went on into crafting our new upgraded gear. We crafted ourselves a cool new cape and a couple of boots and a full set of armor, so we would be much better equipped to taking on the next set of our bosses. And with our gear rotation complete, I went ahead, placed down some more chests so we would have more storage space, and emptied out my inventory. And with everything done and completed, we were ready to take down our next boss, either Rufus the Foreman, or we would be taking down Errol the Stonebreaker. Now personally, I wanted some loot that Errol dropped, so we went ahead and started tracking Errol. And if you enjoyed this adventure into the world of Vardoran and you want more, please like and subscribe. And stay tuned for part 2, where we take down Errol the Stonebreaker, begin our journey into expanding our true official castle. As always, it's been a pleasure. It's your boy Faye, signing out.